watching East Tennessee's first and only year-round sports talk show on television. This is The Sports Source with your host, John Pennington.
Good Sunday morning and welcome into The Sports Source, episode number 601. We're counting down to episode 1200. We appreciate you for joining us last week for the 600th. We get the next season started this week. I mean, it's the 13th football season we've dived into. UT is about to kick off their football season next Saturday. We got a full preview of the season ahead, complete with 3 VFLs on the show today. Let's get right into it. The first segment brought to you by our friends at Phil Cobble, Fine Homes and Land. No one has a nicer selection of homes and properties than Phil and his team. Check out this beautiful home, soon to be available in Strawberry Plains. I think we've got a picture of that beautiful home somewhere, or maybe not. Waiting. We don't have it. All right. Well, anyway, it's a beautiful home that they've got. You can go to Phil's website, check out all of their sites, philcobblefinehomes.com, philcobblehomes.com. They do a tremendous job and just excellent work. Okay, let's welcome in. And if we get that, no, that's still not it. All right, let's come back to the guys here. We tried.
Wasn't even close.
We tried. I guess Phil's going to dock my pay this week for that. All right. We got right here former Vols, Sterling Hinton, Bobby Scott, Shazon Bradley. Good to have all three of you guys. Good to have Chuck Cavaleris with us as usual. Guys, here's what I want to ask you about. A lot of folks are saying that the biggest game of the year is Florida. I've heard people on call-in shows say, well, if Tennessee beats Florida, I can accept a lot of other losses. I don't believe that because I don't think that's ever the case. If Tennessee beats Florida and then loses to South Carolina and Kentucky, nobody will be talking about Florida anymore. That's just the way it goes these days. But here's my question. Is this a must-win this year? You're on the road at Florida. Haven't beaten Florida down there since the first year of the Sports Source, 2003. Is this a must-win, guys?
I think every game is a must-win, first of all. But
that's cheating. But
I mean, it's not cheating. I mean, we're in Tennessee. Every game is a must-win. Now, Florida is a bigger win. It has more impact because we haven't beaten them in so long. It's time to get some Gator bait.
What do you think? Is it a must-win?
I think it is. I think Tennessee needs to go down there and take over the swamp. I don't know that they can right now, but this will be the best chance they've had in a while.
Shazon?
In order to get back to handling business the way we used to handle business, I definitely think we must win it. And one thing about we've got like Bowling Green, for instance. We can't look past Bowling Green. I think Oklahoma is going to be our true measuring stick. We got to see who's in, who's out. You can't make the club in the tub. We got a lot of guys in the tub.
That's right. That's right. Chuck, is it a must win?
Well, I noticed on the question, John, you did must win in quotation marks. If it's not a must win, I think you're nudging up against the open quotation in must win, because it has been 10 years in a row. Florida does have a new coach. And Tennessee fans have sat there and watched. Even last year, you're ahead 9-0 and can't put it away. So if it's not a must-win, boy, it's about as close as you can get to being one.
Is that fair to Butch Jones? Because he's paying for the sins of the father a little bit here. Yeah. You just said, well, it's been a decade. Not for Butch Jones, it hasn't. He's been here, this is his third year, so he's only lost to Florida twice. But it's because he's the guy in the seat now, he's having to pay for all those previous losses, it seems. It's like, you better win, Jones. We need to see what you can do. It's like, well, he's only had a couple shots at these guys. He hadn't lost all 10 of them.
Well, John P., this is what I say. Coach Jones hates to lose, and I know he hates to lose twice. So that pressure is something he's definitely accepting. And I bet you up last $5, this man is taking all he has down into that swamp this year.
Well, let me ask you this, guys. All right, you're taking a team down there that's kind of young. We'll see what they do. We also don't know what Florida's going to have. Talent-wise, they don't look too deep. But at the same time, they got a new coach, and you never know when a new coach is going to spring on you. What I want to know, is this a bigger game? Is the Florida game bigger for the program, bigger for Butch Jones personally, if it's a win or if it's a loss?
I think it's big just because it's,
Yeah, but the question is it bigger if it's a win or a loss? Is the reaction greater with a loss, or is the reaction greater with a win?
I think Tennessee fans will be disappointed I'd have to say a loss.
John, I'm going to say it's going to be bigger as a win, and here's why. You've had a lot of practice, unfortunately, at losing to Florida and then picking up the pieces and whether or not you can still go on and have a good season. You beat Florida, you've snapped a 10-game losing streak. You feel like if we can beat these guys, we can beat anybody. That's the way I'd look at it.
It's that momentum and that confidence that it's going to give the guys to come on up in order to get back to where we used to be.
Okay.
It'll be so big as a win, John P. I think if we win this game, everybody goes to kneeling and takes down the goalpost and runs it down the strip, baby, even if the game is away. That's what I think.
I think you just lost your gig. I think Dave Hart's going to be docking your DJ pay for that one.
Hey, we'll play with a smile if you
How much does the goalpost cost?
Well, it depends on if there's a CBS camera on top of it. Isn't that the deal?
Will people be doing backflips down Gay Street,
But here's the thing. You guys were chucking, Shazan was kind of taking it from a player's point of view and the confidence it can build. I agree with Bobby. I think it's a bigger deal if you lose it. Because I think you get a lot of people who are going to say, all right, that's it. I'm not in on Butch Jones anymore. Fair or not, I think you're going to have that. I think that's just the nature of pro fans, college fans. I think that's all across the country. If you lose to this one, if you go out and win the next 7 games, you're going to have a yeah, but. All right? If you beat Florida, then lose your next 3, Florida means nothing.
Yeah, but then that's what you do after that game. I mean,
well, yeah,
you
but
still.
I'm talking about the
but if you
reaction
win
that
this
week
game, to
after
me, the
Oregon.
momentum you can take forward, and then you're coming home, and then you're going to be playing in front of your home crowd. You got a tough Arkansas, got a tough. I mean, you're in contention, or the chance to be in contention. You haven't had that feeling in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just the way I would look at it.
Okay. All right. Sterling, you're going to stick with what you.
I'm sticking with what I said.
Okay.
I'm sticking with it. Let's go. Vols, baby, all the way.
All right. It's our preseason special, so we've got Sterling here to play cheerleader today. And I want to say congratulations, by the way, to Shazan Bradley and his McMinn County Cherokees, who took the McMinn Central Chargers to the woodshed a couple weeks ago. So a tip of my gray hair to you, Shazan.
Beautiful game.
All
Beautiful game.
All right. I owed you one. All right. When we come back, injuries, suspensions, we'll take a look at Tennessee's depth chart. Is there reason to be concerned? Come on back on the Sports Source.
Quality, quick. Trust Fast Frame.